Hello,
Oh,
Craig.
God. Hi. Hello.
Hi.
Welcome to the 75th episode of Dissonant Waves. My name is Dominic. I am currently operating on severe anxiety and adrenaline.
Uh,
Waiting on my laptop to start up properly. It's been having issues tonight, so I'm on my phone again. So,
And Trix is
hello.
currently high, and I feel like I'm going to have to be the
uh,
one to say that before Trix falls asleep.
yeah. No, I'm fully there. I'm eating fruity pebbles. But yeah. My neighbor got me high, so
And I'm sober in here, so I'm going to have to be the straight man this week, which
I'm
is...
sober too. I'm just
I mean, that's
anxious.
probably actually the most ironic line to say in this whole podcast. Is
yeah.
straight man, yeah.
It is.
But hi,
That's,
hello.
I wonder
This
if
will be a
we've made
breeze
that
to
joke
edit.
before. Have we made the straight man joke before? I need to know.
No, I don't
I
think
don't
we
know
have.
if we have.
Can't believe it's taken us 75 episodes to do that. Anyway,
75 episodes to achieve
Dominic, I'm
comedy.
happy to take over the intro here for the albums if you like.
Sure, go ahead. You did it well on the
Yeah.
episode I just edited.
Hell yeah. So we have 3 albums and 2 singles this week. We have Shannon and the Clams' Year of the Spider. These are all 2021 albums, by the way.
Mhm.
One of the singles is prior, however. We have Black Midi's Cavalcade along with the Sweater single. And we have Lil Nas X's Montero. Kind of a bit long awaited, I guess, since we it covered Lil Nas X earlier in the year, as well as the Holiday single.
Yes.
Mhm.
We've already kind of introduced who we are, so which one do we want to start with?
Well, I'm Dominic. Hi,
Should we?
hello. I think we should start with. Let's start with Black Midi.
Oh wow.
Yeah, you want to start with Black Midi? I was gonna go start with Shannon and the Clans, so if you two want to start with Black Midi, I'm happy.
I'm fine with whatever.
I'm happy to start with Black Midi. We've gone into this kind of trend of like spoiling our rankings during the episode anyway, so I was gonna
Yeah.
put out that like I have a battle kind of at the moment before I decide between Black Midi and Little Nas X, but I think this album, you know, I'll introduce it before I kind of talk about why I'm still confused if I like this or not. So I discovered Black Midi probably around when everyone else did, 2019 with Steigenheim, which fantastic debut album, it's art rocky, experimental, had a lot of math rock in it as well. And in this album, one of their members has kind of like not really been a part of the whole studio recording for this. Apparently, I think they've just taken a bit of a break, so they've kind of gone down one member for this album temporarily, and yet it feels like they have a lot more on it. It's so more avant-garde. This is what I feel like Captain Beefheart sounded like to our parents.
That's a good way of putting it.
Yeah.
Yeah, we need
And
to listen to Captain Beefheart, I guess.
yeah, they
No.
released John L earlier this year as a single, kind of hyping up that they're putting out this album, and it came out a couple months ago, and I'm still confused. There is a lot to take in with this album, and I always had plans to cover it at this year, but like I kind of kept picking other stuff because I didn't go back to this as much because it's just so. It's a very exhausting album to go through. I like a lot what it does, and I think there's a lot cool about this album, but I think there's also just a lot that overwhelms me. Like
Yeah.
John L, which is also John 50, which is probably the better way. It's a Roman numeral there.
Oh.
I still don't fucking know what that song is. Like there are some absolute moments in here which I have been putting on repeat on this year, like Slow and Ascending Forth. Ascending Forth, which is a hell of a vibe of a song that's just so. It's such a contrasting song to this album.
Yeah.
Because it's probably the most minimalistic, but I don't know, I just like really like cruising and kind of vibing to that song. And then there's all these other moments, like John 50 goes into Marlene Dietrich, and those songs.
It doesn't go into
completely
Marlene Dietrich. It just stops and transitions. Like
that's
an abrupt cut.
Yeah, that's a bit.
Yeah.
It's not abrupt. That's the thing. Like, it's not like actually abrupt as in like the song ends and then it's like on a 40. Because they do flow it into it, but it flows abruptly, which is the best way to kind of explain it. And they're so different songs, but then it picks back up again and then kind of goes back down, and it keeps going like back and forth, and it's so it's overwhelming. That's the thing. I like it, but it's overwhelming, man. And
Yeah.
I feel like I should like it a lot more than I actually do.
I agree with that. Like, I'm not super in love with it. I don't know even where to really think about placing it. Like,
Yeah,
my battle right now is it better than worse than Squid?
I prefer the Squid
Better.
album. In my
I think
opinion,
this is better than Squid.
I think it's a lot more ambitious, and I think it's a lot more technically impressive. But I personally prefer Squid. I mean,
I'm gonna be honest. I really vibed with this album. I didn't really give my
Yes.
opinion because I was focused on the texture of the roof of my mouth. But
that's
the
fair.
I,
I was just gonna say, like, before you go back on, I feel like this is an album where you can pretend, like, I know me and Dominic are kind of in a middle ground, but I feel like this is an album where you really will really love it or really hate it.
yeah, I did really love it. It was like Primus, but even weirder, but like not as like weird as Primus, if that makes sense.
I mean, they definitely do quite a lot with their instruments, especially with bass on here, but
mhm.
it's not as rhythmic as Primus is.
No, but like I got the primacy vibes, especially on track number 3 that looks like Chandram Malasia Patella.
Yeah, something like that. Chandra
Contra
Malakalia.
Malaysia Fatella.
Yeah.
Okay, I was close enough. I'm gonna call that like a B plus on with how high I am.
But I mean,
But,
here's the thing, right?
Mm.
I really like Black Country New Roads album. I thought that was fantastic.
And these are contemporaries.
Right. They're so contemporary that they
There's a
combine
live album.
sometimes.
Yeah, there's a live album which has them doing like a jam session or something together. It's called Black Midi New Road.
Right. And the thing is like Black Country New Roads album is unquestionably in my top 10 of the year.
Same with me.
Like, anytime I think about this album, I'm thinking of Black Country New Road.
I mean, I don't. They're so different. I can't.
These songs, like some of these songs do stick with me, but some of them don't in a way that I find weird.
I
Only
mean,
because
we'll
they are
be
so
talking about them
strange.
both next week anyway, because they both get sampled on the album that I'm gonna pick.
Right.
But
it's like whenever I'm trying to think of, like, I remember little bits and pieces, but whenever I'm trying to think of, like, what does John L actually sound like? Oh wait, I'm just thinking of instrumental.
Something when John 50 comes to town.
Oh right. Yes, that voice, that singing voice.
Yeah, Geordie Creep. Like these are one of the things that I do know I love about this album, and it's Geordie Creep. So I think it is, and this goes back into Schlagenheim as well, which I want to talk a bit about. Like that album was pretty out there when I first heard it. Like there's this really great video I always go back to, and Black Midi were on this morning news segment for some reason, and they performed near Detroit, Michigan, which is just that's my favorite song of Schlagenheim. It's so fucking like short, fast, and like energetic, and that's just like this kind of whole like heavy, somewhat avant-garde, still punk song about the Flint, Michigan crisis, and that album was pretty out there and experimental when it came out, but it feels so accessible when I've listened to Cavalcade. Like going back to Schlagenheim, which has all these weird moments, and Geordie Group's vocals are on there as well, like on 953 or the BM, like going on to the Schlagenheim stuff. And that was when I was first introduced into this kind of whole, like, he has this very, he emphasizes a lot on the kind of, it's kind of like this stereo, like he's trying to do like a caricature in his voice. It's kind of so weird, and he does it back on Cavalcade, and he does it in a similar way, and it's so out there and unique, but I love it.
At times he just sounds like Norm Macdonald, but British.
I can actually see what you're going at there.
Yeah,
like there's something about it that's just so very matter of fact and like announcery, informative in a way, but like I don't know.
See, I'm a deeply closeted homosexual. That kind of shtick, yeah.
Yeah, and I can actually see that. And if you've ever listened to BM, which is kind of like mocking this person, and it's just they're going, she must have a purpose the whole time. You kind of get that kind of vibe, and I do actually see that.
Yeah, it's one of those things where it's like, why is British Norm Macdonald just narrating to me? What is his deal here? And that's
But
kind of like the mystery of
it
the
works
album,
so well in this. So.
right? It's like it's the mystery of the album. It's like, what is this all actually about? What is going on here?
He's also not the only vocalist on it. He is the more prominent one on it.
Yeah.
But you'll notice on songs like "Slow," there's actually a different one. I think that's the I don't know if he's the guitarist or the bassist that does the vocals. I think it's another guitarist. Thank you.
I mean, they have like I think they had like the touring people kind of come on and do
Mm.
more work because of Matt's absence.
Mm.
Matt Wesnowski Kelvin's absence. Gotta make sure I got that right. But yeah, there's just songs like I can't really quite make my heads or tails of, like Ascending Forth. Like parts of me kind of wants to not like it. The parts of me is kind of like, it's not that bad. It's kind of interesting.
I mean, it's the difference with me is just like the parts in here which I'm not into. Like I feel like I have to like a lot more than I actually. Like Ascending Forth, I think is a brilliant kind of close and very very relaxing, and I think it's a kind of like orchestral, kind of like the end of a play.
Right.
Or like an end of a show thing that happens at the end of Ascending Forth as well. It kind of fits just so well on this album because when you're kind of been confused the whole time and that just kind of comes up at the end, it's just like, was that just it? Was they just playing a fucking? Was this all just a show? Were we all just there for that?
Is this just a man saying Ascending Forth all over again? How much people love them? 'Cause
I
everybody
mean,
loves Ascending Forth,
man, you're not gonna like BM then.
and everyone loves Ascending Forth.
Ooh.
It's you know how you liked the ending to the Glow Part 2 because you after pretty much all that you listen to you're kind of just chilling out to something a little bit more ambient and stuff.
Right. How everyone loves
Mhm.
Ascending Forths.
Yeah, Ascending Forth is just like that. I get that it might not be your favorite or anything, or you might. And there's a word that I love to use, and I love to say that I hate to use it, but I actually love to use it, and it's the word pretentious. And I think I think there are some moments on here which get a bit too pretentious for its own good. And
Well, but to
ascending,
say
and
I hate it.
I'll say that on Ascending Forth, but it still gets made up by the fact that I like relaxing to it, or I think it's just like a good song. Like I enjoyed it. So
Sure, but to say I hate it, I feel like is too strong of a word itself. Like
Mhm.
parts of me don't want to like it, but parts of me, it's really hard to classify how I feel about it.
Mm.
Because I think we're on the same page on that, but you're more like, oh, I kind of like this. What the fuck is this? Where I'm just kind of like, I don't even know to feel what the fuck is this.
I love how obscure it is, but I hate that I can't get into it. It's kind of like how I feel about this album. Trix, you said you love it, so you might want to like say some more.
Yeah, it just struck a chord with me in the right way, and it's like the kind of weird I like. And I didn't listen to this one on drugs, so I can't blame that. But yeah, just I dug.
What did you dig?
Doug,
It was like weird in the right ways. Like I really dug like the bass on it. Like again on track 3, I'm not going to say it again, but that song, like the bass kicking in, just like I dug it. I liked it. It a lot of it passively passed by me, but in like a way I knew like I'm enjoying this.
Right. Is that which song? Which one's the song that really like builds up? No, it really builds up to some really good energy at the end. I remember liking that part of it. And then it has that weird like slide whistle at the end of it, which I thought was weird.
Yeah.
It's not even like a slide whistle; it's more of like an Atari sound effect when somebody falls, almost.
I can't
Yeah.
remember the slide whistle by heart.
Something like that.
Maybe on a slow, maybe on like a dethroned or something. Maybe one of those. I mean, there's only 8
Something.
songs on here.
No,
And
I made note of the slide whistle at the end.
yeah.
It's in my notes,
Hell, yeah.
but then like slow is cool. Like I'm perplexed by the idea that the single of slow is much louder. Because that's like the differentiation is that the single is like slow but loud or something like that. But yeah, like slow is where you get like the sax stuff. It's more R&B kind of at points. It's the part where I'm just like, how do you even write this kind of music? Like, where does this come from?
I should note as well that I haven't actually ever ripped the CD version because I got this on Bandcamp, where it actually came out on Bandcamp and iTunes before it came out on any other streaming service.
Oh,
And on the CD version, they actually have an intro track.
what?
Oh, that's cool. That's cool.
Yeah, and I think it only lasts like a minute or something. It's very small.
Yeah.
You had to find it on bloody Discogs, I think will actually show you. But there's also another big thing that they had done with this album, specifically with vinyl releases, I believe it was, and they would all come with a 7-inch, which would be a little odd. So the introduction, by the way, that this comes on, I think it's on both vinyl and CD. They have a minute and 30. I haven't actually heard it. I probably should have, but it's actually not too important for the context of listening to this album. But they actually had some covers in the 7-inches.
Yeah.
So they had stuff like Roxanne and Psycho Killer in a medley, 21st Century Schizoid Man cover, which, my god.
I mean, you just kind of explained there why I think I like this.
Well,
amalgamation of all that kind of shit.
hold on. Let me continue on with the other covers that were on the bonus flexi discs here. Moonlight on Vermont by Captain Beefheart. Nothing Compares to You by Prince. So Rough Trade Records would have the Captain Beefheart. Rough Trade shops would have the King Crimson. The US independent stores would have the Prince cover, and Tower Records as a kind of CD. Well, they would have it as a CD to put it into, I guess. They would have the medley of Psycho Killer and Roxanne, and the UK independent stores where Black Midi is from. I guess Rough Trade and stuff was their label and stuff. But they had a cover of Love Story by Taylor Swift.
Fantastic.
That's amazing.
Out of all the stuff, I think that is the oddest that they could have done. I think that is like the complete other side of the spectrum.
Yeah.
There was also a Japanese edition where they put on Cruising and Despair on the CD as well. Despair was a B-side to John 50, so they had some really interesting stuff in the kind of releases of this, and you can actually find those covers on YouTube. I didn't really make that a required listening because it's not too important in the context of this and the the album we're doing next week. But what is important in the context of the album next week is the single that I wanted you two to listen to.
Yeah, Sweater's cool.
Sweater is it's kind of like this in between of Slagenheim and Cavalcade, because it definitely has a lot more of the avant-garde style that they go in there, but it also has a lot more of the sound that they. Well, I guess it's no. So I think it's a bit the other way. I think it has a bit more of the sound of Cavalcade, but a bit more of the song structure of stuff on Slagenheim.
It's a very different song than I feel like than a lot about Cavalcade, because it was the first thing I listened to of theirs, and so I was very excited to hear the rest of it because I felt it was very jammy, very just kind of layered and just kind of multi-phased in a way that was nice and interesting to listen to, but not overly taxing to the point of not understanding what it is.
I might bring up Slagenheim one day then, because I think that might be a lot better for you to listen to. If not, obviously people can listen to music in their own time. But
I mean, maybe it's the context that I need to really get Black Midi.
I guess it helps to go into Black Midi. It also helping into the big lead single from the album next week, which people, because I don't know if I've actually said the album name on here. I can't remember what I said a week ago. But people can probably figure it out from then if they know the album.
Right.
Yeah. But yeah, it's also the longest song that we've covered out of the Black Midi stuff, and they have some long songs here.
Yeah. I mean, we haven't really talked about the mid part of the album, stuff like Diamond Stuff, which I'm remembering now has more. It's the weird thing of they have these really intense songs, like you said, but then stuff like Marlene Dietrich is very much a ballad and just an ode to her, kind of an old fashioned kind of song styling, adult contemporary. Then Diamond Stuff has this really plucky guitar and just very simple melody.
One of my favorite songs on it, man. I know I'm kind of just talking about Black Midi as a whole here, but one of my favorite songs on them is Western, which is where they had a lot of that kind of plucky guitar kind of happening around, and it's kind of long and math rocky and stuff. And if I keep talking about it, I'm just gonna put the whole song on. In fact, I'm gonna put the whole song on myself. whilst doing this
Yeah, I mean, I was
podcast,
thinking about Radiohead while listening to them.
but yeah, they definitely have like a lot of styles that they kind of go through.
It's the weirdness of Radiohead that I never really got into, is what it is. Like it is that aesthetic. It is that vibe.
Hmm.
Like it's the stuff on like Hail to the Thief. It's the stuff on Kid A. It's the Life was a Glass House kind of stuff. That is what this album is to me.
Hmm.
Like it's weird, it's interesting, but I never truly got it.
Yeah, that's fair.
I've got nothing else to say. Trix, you wanna have final words yourself?
Album good.
Fair enough. I'd say
Hogwash and Balderdash.
Hogwash and Balderdash is like my least favorite, and that's what I was gonna go say. I don't hate it. It's just like that's one of those songs though, where I'm just like, yeah, I don't get into this. And yeah, my favorites Ascending Forth and Condo Matasilia Pataria.
Yeah.
CP can't stand for anything else, right?
My favorite's probably Marlene Dietrich, and my least favorite, that's my most favorite. My least favorite is going to be probably Hogwash and Balderdash as well.
Trix, if you're sober enough. Favorite,
album
favorite?
good is all I have to say.
Fair
album
enough.
Good. All I can manage tonight.
The blender is really
I
weird to say.
supremely apologize.
Well, let's get on to an album that I know that is at least my number 3 on this one, and get on to it while Trix.
I'm going to
Trix is still
attempt
sober.
to switch my computer if it will let me now. Let's see if I can do this live.
Trix,
Okay.
you wanna introduce Shannon and the Clams whilst
Yeah, this is an artist I stumbled upon during the Big Burger Records controversy, and they seemed clean, and their album Onion was banging. And so when I saw that You're the Spider came out, I'm like, I'm gonna do that during Halloween month.
Fair enough. Look, I don't hate this album. There's no bad album this week. I think we had a pretty good week for 2021. Seeming as I think the first time we ever did a yearly one, it was but I mean Petite League's held up, but like LSD and Bag Raiders didn't.
No.
And this one is just Americana disguised as indie rock, and
I kind of like that though.
I get it. I don't hate this, but I'm just not into this. Like, it does nothing interesting enough to me. Like, with the Black Midi, I go like, okay, but I'm at least intrigued by this, or like, I want to get into this. And look, I'll probably get into it more and more. But here, it's like, listen to it. Yeah, it's alright. I think she's got a nice voice. I think they play their instruments well, and I think their songwriting's just it's a song.
Yeah, it's inoffensive. It's fun.
Yeah. I would say that the worst part of this album by far is the album art.
Yeah, it does fit their aesthetic though.
I can get that. It's currently smelling like something's on fire around us.
Is Australia on fire again?
Probably. This is I don't know. I don't really have much to say about this album, and I can't even go album good. It's just like album there.
Album fun.
I mean, I guess it's the curse of living in Australia that Americana never took off here. But it's not really a curse as it's a blessing.
It should have with fucking I Want That You Were Always Happy.
That wasn't even Americana though.
It got very Americana-y.
It was folk. It was folk. It wasn't Americana.
We can
hear you. We're gonna hear you.
Okay, what did I miss?
Shannon.
We're comparing Shannon and the Clams to I Want That You Were Always Happy.
Which I'm going to murder you for, honestly.
I do not agree with that. I do really like Shannon and the Clams. Oh, my attempt to connect via computer did not work right now, so I'll have to figure that out later. But
apologies.
But
no, it's okay. It's just being very slow, so I just got to fix that. Hopefully,
you could say that parts of I Want That You Were Always Happy Americana influence. You'd be wrong, but you could say it. But
I agree with like stuff like Dan Silverleaf and Mount Morgan are very Americana.
But they're more just like folky.
Sure.
I mean,
But Shannon and the Clams is very different than that.
Yeah, and I mean, I want that you're always happy. Those are like the only moments really you could say are Americana. That stuff's more just straight up folk.
Fair enough.
Easy folk. Like I wouldn't go Black Death and fucking 1349. But I would have forgot 14.
That's not Americana.
Yeah, I wouldn't call that Americana. I wouldn't call
it's a genre mix. It's
Yeah.
I wouldn't call my
genres.
grandma was Pearl Hole like a piano ballad kind of thing. There, Americana. I wouldn't call Jesus Came to My Birthday Party.
That's a pop song.
Or Land of the Bloody Unknown, which is about Australia.
But that doesn't mean that the Middle East was not experimenting with different stuff on that album.
No. But
like the later parts of it get more folky, more Americana inspired. I would argue, definitely. I've been arguing that since we listened to it.
But the point is like this is the kind of album that, and this is what I said to Trix earlier, Dominic, that you missed. Is that I said that this album's Americana disguised as indie rock.
Yeah, I can see that, but I also really liked what they did.
Yeah, I know, but I'm not into Americana, and I don't hate this album, but I'm not into it.
Yeah,
like you can listen to Do I Want to Stay and not be like awed by the vocal power that's going on there. Like holy shit, she can sing.
I wasn't awed. Yeah. I didn't think it was a bad vocal performance, but I wasn't in awe.
Like that was like that first song just blew me away. Like holy shit, we're actually listening to something really good.
Yeah, you guys
I did not
judge too hard, too early.
Judge too hard. I admitted that like it's better than the cover, but like it's still not into it.
Better than Tristan.
I would say I prefer the recent Tristan album.
Oh no way! This is
better.
I would. I still listen to Complex and Athena, and I will have songs on here on my 2021 playlist. Like that's not gonna be it.
Like All My Crying. That's a song. That's a great fucking song. All My Crying. Oh my god! Like, have you seen this music video for that? That's a really fucking weird music video.
I have not.
So the setup is that they make you think it's like a sperm bank, and that this guy is going to go in and donate his sperm, and he gets into the room with the little vial, and he sits down, and then it's a clinic for people to cry in and leave their tears behind.
That's pretty funny.
That is pretty funny.
Yes, it's very good. But like songs like even like Year of the Spider, like this first half of the album is super stacked of great songs. Like fucking Year of the Spider too. Oh my god, her vocals are so good, and just the way their songs are very Americana. Like they're very Elvis-y in a way. They're very rooted in a more older style, but I do think they really fit. They're really good examples of that. Like Do I Want to Stay is like very much like a Nancy Sinatra type of song that I could see her like doing, not covering, but doing, or maybe covering, who knows, in like the 60s even. Yeah, like. But yeah, if you never grew up in any of this, sure, I can see having that difference there. But I guess if this podcast has shown anything, is that people over time may come to like different things, and I hope that does happen at some point.
Yeah.
No, I mean Americana is just not a genre that I'm interested in, and I probably won't. Like this, maybe one day. But
I mean,
like,
doom metal wasn't really a genre I was interested in.
I'm still not too interested in it, but I didn't really get like more into it until the Dr. Colossus album was good.
That's fair. Sometimes it's just about finding that right thing for you that fits.
Maybe there'll be an Americana album which I'll go, yeah, fuck, I'll vote Trump now, and
that's not what I'm saying.
And I'll say it. But until then, I'm going to stay with my overly pretentious art rock. Thank you very much.
I also really like Black Country New Road. Like that's like incredible. It's better than Shannon and the Clams. But I suspect Shannon and the Clams may make some end of year list for me in some capacity.
That's opinions. That's just how they work.
Like top 20 albums, maybe. I don't see it like being maybe in the top 10. We'll see. But oh man, I was shocked by how much I like this album. Not because I was expecting it to be bad. If anything, I was remembering Ace Swayze and the Ghosts just because of the name.
Yeah.
It's not alright. It's not okay. Good.
But after last week and not really being in the Trix's pick with the Frights, I do think Trix has regained some steam here after a really stellar selection for the last couple months.
Hell yeah.
I mean, Trix has pulled out good picks. This is just not the one which I think is a good pick. I don't think it's a bad
Better than
pick.
the Fright?
Better than around the same.
Oh,
right.
whoa! These and the Frights are way different.
No, I will take that back. It's better than the Frets.
Yeah.
The Frights I had no opinion on whatsoever. Like it was so bland to me. But this, at least, it was. I don't know. I really dug the instrumentals. I dug the vocals. I thought it was fantastic.
Yeah.
But go back on about comparing it to the Middle East. I want to hear where this came from. I'll listen to it in the recording when I edit this. But
it's just,
we were
just saying Americana.
The Americana.
Hmm.
And I still say that the Middle East is not really influenced or Americana. Maybe they had to sound similar, but like not.
But I mean, like, just because they're Australian doesn't mean they were not influenced by any of that.
I mean, that's not what I'm saying.
Right, but like,
I mean,
that's kind of the thing too.
It is obviously harder in Australia because bloody we didn't have American country here. Thank fuck. And it more just strikes me as more kind of like influenced by just indie folk or whatever the fuck they wanted to make. I don't know. I don't think about influences for I Want It You're Always Happy because it's an album that just seems like it influences, not was influenced. I know that's not always
That's
the case.
totally valid.
I know that's not probably actually the case, but you know.
I Want That You Always That You're Always Happy is a very underrated album.
Yeah.
That wasn't on your 10 out of 10 list. No, it was on your 10 out of 10 list. I'm right.
It is.
Yeah,
it is.
It was.
Yeah, it was.
I just listened to that.
The Middle East is always on the 10 out of 10 now.
Yeah.
Yes.
Full discography.
That's right.
And that's just the albums I have on my computer.
I would probably put that really high up there with you. I probably would agree with that.
Yeah.
I'd probably put it above even recordings of the Middle East at this point.
They're still both tied for me. They're both 10 out of 10, so I don't think there's going to be any change to that. Anyway, now that we've talked about Middle East more than we have Shannon and the Clams, I think that it goes to prove that this wasn't the interesting album.
It was.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like one of those bands that I would like. It's like the equivalent I can think of is me finding them on that Through the Soil record, where this is a band that's been around for over 10 years, has put out numerous albums, and we're just now finding out about them. That's incredible to me. Like, this little pocket of existence that we did not know about really is here, and we're now uncovering it thanks to this podcast. I'm very proud of that. This is our sixth studio album. There's 5 other ones.
They're all
We're going to listen to them all. But like unrealistic. Maybe I'll listen to them all. But I do think it's fun that they have two songs with the title with Crawl in the title. I think that's really fun.
Mm-hmm.
Snakes Crawl and then just Crawl.
Crawl.
But it like reading about this kind of reminded me of that Tristan kind of thing of like some of these people have families and they're just kind of doing this because they love it. And when COVID hits, what do you do? And like they just decided to wait to release this album for like a year and a half, pretty much.
Yeah.
And you know they also recorded it in Nashville, despite being from California, which is interesting.
Yeah. Well, Nashville is like the center of recording in the industry.
Right. I guess, yeah. And then I was reading they released like a playlist of influences on Spotify, which I didn't link to, but they had everything on there from like ELO to Hank Williams to the Reputations.
Let's see if we can find this artist playlist. They have. Is it on their Spotify? Or?
Yeah, it should be on Spotify. I don't know if it's on their Spotify or someone's Spotify, but
there's my Shazam tracks, Fresh and Random, Dreamcatcher, Brain Spark, inspiration for our new record, and this is a while ago. 19 songs. What's on here? Yeah, there's Electric Light Orchestra, Roy Orbison, Luke Christie, that calls the Honeycombs. Timmy Euro, Solomon Burke, Zagaran Evans, Radiohead. No, that's not on there.
Yeah, this would be a band I'd be interested in seeing even live, maybe at some point, just to see how it translates. Like, I'd be curious to see how a song.
Feel the thump of that voice in your chest.
Yeah, like how Midnight Wine might be live. That'd be really cool to see.
Yeah,
like I know you really like Midnight Wine.
Midnight Wine is a great tune, and I enjoyed Midnight Wine in life. So
they they really have a good way of like blending their vocals and like really experimenting with like who you can hear and when you can hear them. Like usually it's kind of
Yeah.
pitched more towards Shannon, but then some songs they really kind of throw it the other way toward the other singer. Which song do they do that specifically? Flowers Will Return. They kind of more put it to Cody Blanchard,
Yep.
who's the other big singer of the band. And then like they just kind of play with it at different points where it sounds a little more feminine, sounds a little more masculine. And so I really dig kind of like that kind of level of production.
Yeah.
Because this is produced by Dan Auerbach of all people,
Hmm.
which like I like the Black Keys. I would not expect the Black Keys people to be interested in this.
Yeah.
I could.
Okay, well I guess if you can, then that must be.
Yeah, I can see it.
Well, I can
I
see
mean,
it. Oh.
they had an album called El Camino.
Yeah.
And Clint Eastwood had a movie called Gran Torino.
Yeah, they raced to the death.
We'll put on the Gran Torino theme song and we'll put it against El Camino, something in El Camino.
Gold. I
The
forgot.
El
what we
Camino
were
is the mullet of cars, and I love it.
We'll just hear like Jamie Cullum's voice and Clint Eastwood's raspiness on there, and just the inevitable collision of both of those songs combining together.
Yeah.
I don't know. I really dug this. I guess I don't have a ton to say, but I really enjoyed what it did.
Album fun.
album there.
Album good.
I will say there was one song which I thought was somewhat interesting, but I still wouldn't put it in my top 200 at the end of the year.
Can you satisfy me by saying which one?
Mary Don't Go.
Okay.
I didn't mind that one.
I think that's intriguing.
Yeah.
That's about
So
it.
my favorites: Do I Want to Stay, All of My Crying, Year of the Spider. Those are my three favorites. My least favorite is probably I Need You Bad, only because I feel like it really kind of halts the momentum of that first half of the album, which is otherwise really, really good.
Yeah. All of My Crying, Midnight Wine, You're the Spider, all good tunes.
I'm just looking at this post right now as well. It's just funny as shit. And someone's got on this like kind of scratchy thing, and they do this. I guess it's just how American workplaces work. And it's all like, oh, if you scratch, you reveal your reward, and it's gone. You've won some unpaid time off.
Yep.
Fuck.
Fun fact: in most countries, you can take unpaid time off whenever. Yeah, I mean, yeah, you can still get fired if you take a lot of unpaid time off. They'll just go, well, like, may as well not have you, but still, you should have to take unpaid time off.
And sometimes, you know, if you find the right job, they're willing to just let you take what you need and come back when you're ready.
I've been sick with no sick leave left, and it's gone. Yeah, you can take the sick day off. You just don't get paid. I'm like, okay, that's fine.
As you say, Ash is coughing. Perfect timing.
I know, really funny to say. And then it doesn't end up using more sick hours, and I get them back. It's great system.
Yeah. But that is Shannon and her clams.
Indeed.
My Windows OS is not responding on my laptop right now. That's fun.
Oh, that's fun.
But until it does, I think we should talk about the gayest thing we'll ever talk about on this podcast.
That's not true. I'm still here.
No, well, it's you are the one who's presenting the album, though.
Yes, we're talking about Lil Nas X's Montero.
Yeah.
An album that we previewed in a way by doing 7 back in the summer. And now we're here with the full album and the single Holiday just to cover pretty much everything else he's released except his mixtape Nazarati, which it really isn't out anymore.
This album is so much better than 7.
Yeah.
He's finally come to the realization that he can just go with that gay shit, go and make a Sister Sister album and just roll with it. My biggest issue with this album, it comes actually from the ending of this album. This is why I didn't know if this was a lot shorter, I would actually have this as a clear number 1, and now I still don't know. But this album ended way too many times.
I disagree.
Stick with the Miley Cyrus one, because that was actually a fine collaboration ending. Never thought I'd say that about a Miley Cyrus track. Well, Mark Ronson one actually a couple of years back. I ate my words. But there were parts in here where it kind of just slowed down and ended for a bit too long. I'm not the biggest fan of Jack Harlow.
Oh, I love Industry Baby. It's so good.
I like the instrumentation in the Industry Baby. I'm just not a fan of Jack Harlow. But I will say this is just climbing up my rankings. I don't think it'll be in my top 10 at the end of the year. But that fucking self-titled track on here, or the title track of Montero, Call Me By Your Name, fuck, it's good.
Oh,
It's really good.
I
And, like, it's
really,
fun that-
the only thing I hate about that track is every time I am in the car and we're listening to the radio, because Ash gets to choose a radio station, and I'm not having a go at you for picking a radio station. I'm having a go at the radio stations for playing the censored version of this track, which has to get rid of words like cocaine and replace them with champagne. It completely ruins the whole fucking point of the song.
I can't wait for the Kids Bop version to happen.
Oh god, yeah.
I am so excited to hear what
this.
that's like.
Yeah,
I need to hear
It's
this.
like
one.
it's like next week. It's coming next week. I think.
Is there actually
yeah.
a Kids Bop version of this? Like actually
Yes.
confirmed? Oh my god, yes!
Lil Nas X confirmed it himself because he was also surprised that it was happening.
What the fuck?
Wow.
Is this like Kids Bop goes indie? Stuff that should just not have happened. I'm pretty sure that actually exists, by the way. Kids Bop goes indie, and I think they do float on.
Kids Bop does Fleet Foxes.
Like I posted that one kids version for the Moonies, which is like some CGI show or something.
Mm-hmm.
And it was like it's like a Chipmunks version of the song, and they did an okay stab at it, I feel like. But I am just so ready for the Kids Bop version specifically.
Yeah,
I think I tackled that gay shit. That's what I want to know.
I'm now searching up the Kids Bop fucking Montero. Please not be fake. Please be. No, there's the Moonies.
It's not out yet. Moonies is what I was just talking about.
When does it come out? When does this come out?
From
like
what
next
I heard,
week.
it was like October 23rd or something like that.
Please be that. I really. Oh, there's actually a commercial.
Oh, good. That might have been what I saw then.
Yeah, the commercial has them all in a fucking school hallway going, "Call me by your name," and it's got the album art next to it. Oh god, I'm gone. I'm gone.
Played.
Up, see ya.
Like, would I cut some tracks from Montero? Maybe.
Maybe.
Like, I feel like they're all really solid. Like, you could maybe cut Void and Don't Want It in terms of just, like, keeping it more cohesive. But I don't think you necessarily need to. Like, I kind of like that it's a little messy and just, like, indulgent in that way.
Yeah.
It really separates stuff like Life at Salem and makes that really shine, because Life at Salem is really, really fucking good.
Oh,
and
yeah.
Like going like the power rock kind of way was like kind of a surprise and really interesting. Like having him like explore more vocals, like actual like singing stuff versus, because like he's not like the strongest singer, but he's clearly trying to go more in that direction, which I really appreciate.
Yeah, I really appreciate that too.
Yeah, it's kind of like extending from I'm not just the Old Town Road guy. Like that's like what his whole campaign has been. Like, did you watch all the videos, Ritz, at all?
I watched as many as I could.
I only got to watch as much as I could, and that was none. But yeah.
Like the Montero show one is probably the one that is the most direct.
I still need to. It's an apology in there, but
that one's great.
But
the birthing video is pretty great too.
I do have even better news.
Yes.
I can get the whole track listing up for Kids Bop 2022. Are you ready for this beautiful 17 track album listing?
I'm gonna say fuck yes, because we can't be Kids Bop.
Opening it up, cover of "Good for You" from Olivia Rodrigo. That's another one where it's had a "Baby What the Fuck" is a line in there that I'm gonna have to censor.
Maybe what the fun.
Yeah. Levitating from Dua Lipa, sorry. Montero is number 3. 4, Peaches from Justin Bieber. I know that's one's got to swear. Olivia Rodrigo comes in again at number 5 of Driver's License. That's another line with a swear. Olivia Rodrigo's like angsty teenage girl, so that one's I still fucking love you. So I'm curious to how that one goes.
But they're not even old enough to get their driver's license. I wonder how that's gonna go.
I got my driver's license, baby, in my small toy car that my rich dad bought me. Yeah.
Accurate.
Yeah. I mean, obviously, like, when it comes to like, how to get a sense, Montero is going to be so goddamn interesting how to do it that it might actually hit my number one of the year, just for the Kids Pop version. 6
What
is
else is on there?
Butter from BTS. 7,
Okay.
Australia Apologizes. Astronaut in the Ocean.
Wait, they're gonna do a
Oh.
fucking BTS song. How the fuck is that gonna work?
It's probably going to be really racist.
I mean, I know they were doing like English songs more like Dynamite last year. I'm wondering if Butter's in English.
Dynamite is on here, but we'll get to that. 8
Okay.
is Save Your Tears from the Weekend. 9 is Mood 24K Golden featuring Ian Duo. 10 is
Is that
Bang.
Bruno Mars?
No Bruno Mars. Bang from AJR. Put Your Records On from Rit Momney. Some of these I'm not too familiar with because I'm not that big in Australia.
I've heard of Rit Momney. They're pretty good.
Yeah, I've heard of them, but I've never actually heard them.
Yeah, I
12,
believe written on me.
Therefore I Am from Billie Eilish, which that one always makes sense because you always got the kids listening to Billie Eilish going, she just gets me. That is also me. 13 is Dynamite from BTS. 14, I'm really interested. This song has the the classic Redfern way of describing women, so this will be good. It's Kid Leroy's Without You.
Interesting.
Which can't. There's a line that gets censored on radio here, and it got played all the time. It had to get censored because the line is "can't make a wife out of a hoe," and I'm so goddamn interested. 15 is Deja Vu, so another Olivia Rodrigo. That makes sense. She's been obviously huge this year.
Can't make a life out of a home.
Can't make a wife out of
life.
Can't make a wife. I'm so alone. Number 16 is Telepatia from Caliuchis, and 17 is POV from Ariana Grande. That's
most of that tracks.
There's gonna be some absolute what the fuck are you doing, but nothing still beats the classic meme of Kids Pop does Captain Beefheart.
Yeah, God, I love that.
I want that to be real one day.
Yeah.
I mean, it really depends on how Calling by Your Name goes. I feel like if Montero
let's see,
here's the thing.
JB Hi-Fi Kids Bop, they're selling this. They only got the 2019 here in Australia. What was on that? Anything good?
Here's the thing, though. Like if Lil Nas X tweets about it and shit, he can make it its own meme and like boost Calling Me by Your Name again.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, currently the goddamn streams on that song 1 billion. Good fucking on him.
He's like the most streamed rapper right now of all time.
Yeah.
Remember when everyone thought he was going to be a one-hit wonder, and then everyone thought he wouldn't be a one-hit wonder, but it would just be the same hit over and over again?
Yeah,
that's what One of Me is all about. That's literally like what One of Me is. The hater is telling him you're just gonna be a one-hit wonder. Oh, just do Old Town Road again, But you ought to be really, really relatable and prove that you're one of me.
Yeah.
I'll forever love just like the things I like about this album. I love how sexual, like how actually proud he is now to be sexual on this album.
Yes.
Yeah.
And God, like he's sexy on it.
Yeah. God,
yeah. He's. I also got to give props to Tales of Dominica. Yeah, I feel honored to be featured on here in this way.
Dominic, you've done it again. This is the second time we've covered a song written about now.
I'm just magnetic, I guess. They can't stay away.
I don't know if this one's as well written though as a song. I'm based on trying to ask someone out over Facebook.
I think Tales of Dominica is the better song. I will say I have to break it to James probably, but
sorry, I tried to hit up Little Nas X on Twitter, and now he wrote a song about. Yeah, I mean, yeah, I've got issues with this album, but like, none of them come close to the positives that I got about it.
Like, I do want to give him props for releasing "Sun Goes Down" as a single after "Call Me by Your Name."
Yeah,
to just go from like a really fucking banger of a song to like a really low, mellow, depressing, more about being queer and coming out kind of song. And then like it did not track anywhere near the others. It's probably like one of his least performing singles like so far.
Yeah,
like Holiday did better numbers than Sun Goes Down, but I think it's important that he did that. I think it's a testament to that fact that he really wants to be an actual artist, not just, the hype, the pop star, the whatever you want to call it.
Hmm.
He's taking this shit seriously,
Yeah.
as he should.
Now, did this album actually get released physically at all? Or is this still only on streaming?
No,
I don't know
that's a
either.
good question.
Because in Australia, this doesn't seem to exist, but more importantly, on actual record stores that do imports here, that it doesn't exist. So I feel like
Maybe.
I feel like this hasn't actually had any physical release yet, which I think is a surprise, specifically
Yeah.
as Little Nas X is kind of both appreciated in the more mainstream music artists' audience and more indie listeners, I guess is the best way to describe it, or pretentious, I guess is the other word to describe
Mhm.
these listeners as, including me.
Maybe that can come over time. Like that's maybe another part of the rollout, right?
It could,
Yeah.
I mean, it could just be because obviously.
Because that fucking artwork it'll be a great record cover.
But I don't know
Mhm.
if 7 ever got released physically as well.
I get they should be. Like they really should be. Like they would make so much fucking money from that.
Yeah, I'm looking right now.
I mean, I'd buy this album without a doubt.
Yeah.
Like I also got to give him props for getting some really great features. Like you might not like Jack Harlow. I never really heard of Jack Harlow before Industry Baby came out. But
What's
like,
Mhm.
what's popping? With the great line, I asked, "Does it hurt when you deep throat?" And then they got a little fucking sample that goes, "It does," and I cringe and turn off the song every time that part comes on.
but he does great. His verse is great. I really like Doja Cat's verse, Megan Thee Stallion's verse. It does the one thing
Yeah.
I don't like, where it credits Elton John, but he just does the piano and the backing vocals, like Johnny Marr and the Avalanches. I know that's
Mhm.
a thing to do, but it just irks me in a way because I no one's gonna really notice unless they figure it out that it's just Elton John and piano. But it's still
It has not been released physically.
Now, also I should also note that Kanye West is actually a producer for Industry Baby.
yes, that is the other thing too.
Yeah.
Kanye West has touched this album, and
Yes.
it's one of the more queer songs on the album too. So I'm wondering how he felt about that.
Yeah.
I mean, Kanye is not anti-gay.
Yeah, but he's
I think he
very
cares more about money over anything.
Yeah, Kanye. I mean, if Kanye could marry legally anyone, he would marry himself. So he's for
sure.
he's
Yeah.
for more marriage rights, to be honest, in that case. But no, you can actually go back to some. There's actually a lot of him talking about previously being pretty pro-gay and shit.
Okay,
Okay.
interesting. I guess I didn't
But
really pay much attention.
Kanye is also very bipolar though, so
Yeah.
it's
Yeah, and I mean he is buddy with Trump, so
well, it's. I don't think anyone actually thinks that Kanye likes Trump for his views. He just likes Trump because Trump's a man in power.
Yeah.
yeah.
And I also gotta talk about it's not my favorite song, but Dead Right Now is a very personal song. It seems like going deep into his family issues and going into his relationship with his mother, with his father, with his sister, and how bad things were before he got famous. B, kind of that flip of then getting famous and having people kind of try to hit him up and be like, "Hey, how
Mhm.
you doing? I never forgot about you." And he's like, "Oh yeah, I'm sure." And those are themes he explored on Seven as well with Kick It and stuff. But I think songs like Dead Right Now much more embody that and make that more clear and more interesting. And I'm sure that he was writing about it because that's his life right now is still getting used to fame. He only started really releasing shit in 2018ish or so. And it's 3 years later and look where we are.
Yeah.
And look where he is, having a whole marketing campaign where he's just pregnant, and that's the whole thing.
Yeah. I am
He,
this dude is 20 days older than me, and it makes me feel underaccomplished.
like, he's dedicated. He's very determined. He's very in control of his marketing, his messaging, probably more than a lot of pop stars care or want to be.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of it is so clearly his idea or kind of birthed from him in terms of the court video for Industry Baby, the prelude basically, where you think is
Yeah.
going to be about the Nike shoe trial, and then it turns into it kind of is, but then it turns into, are you gay? And then they're like, does your mama know you're gay? and then he gets
Mhm.
sentenced to 5 years in prison for being gay, and it's great.
Yeah.
And that just cues up the music video for Industry Baby, where they escape together with Jack Harlow and everything. It's great. I
Yeah.
love it. Like I just like there's so much context it gives. Like a lot of that stuff, like even stuff like The Art of Realization, which is just like this 20-something second sound collage of just him talking and reflecting. And like you see the video
Yeah.
for that on his YouTube channel. And it probably works better in a way as a YouTube video of just like random shots of him and just like the audio of him talking. But to release
Yeah.
that also on the record is interesting, I feel like, and I appreciate him like paying attention to that side of things too. Like it's kind of an interlude, kind of a break in things. But I feel like a lot more
Yeah.
conscious or self-conscious and like in that way of like I want to be successful in mainstream. Pop artists would not release something as unrefined and as weird as that.
Yeah.
Where it's like I think he just knows that whatever he's going to put out, if it's good, it's going to get the numbers. Like he has the confidence that he is that good, and I think he is that good.
Yeah, he definitely is.
Like Seven being as good as it was kind of a surprise to me, and I think from that, seeing Montero be as good as it is, it's like okay, yeah, you're doing it. This is yeah.
Hmm.
Like we're not even getting to all their good songs like Scoop or Dollar Sign Slime. Like there's so many good bangers on here.
Oh yeah, this is a great album. I think this is my number one for the week, if I'm gonna be honest.
Yeah, I agree.
Happy. I'm still unsure, but I'm happy to agree for the sake of that. And then it's hard because 2021, and then I'm gonna end up ranking them in just a bit over a month fully anyway, and then we'll see if I eat my words or not. But I think I do agree for now.
All right.
My favorites are probably like Montero itself, Industry Baby, of course, Tales of Dominica, of course, and Life After Salem. Least
Hmm.
favorite's probably going to be Void, or maybe Don't Want It.
My favorite's obviously the title track. Fantastic song. We'll see just how high I charted in my top 100. And at the time of writing, probably gonna be around like shit. Hold on, I'm actually calculating that now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I might be doing it in 8 weeks.
Wow.
Wow, that's really close. I need to actually start like kind of really thinking about it and listening to some more songs at the end of it. But for now, Montero is my favorite off here. I actually like the Megan Thee Stallion feature on here as well. I thought that was Dollar Sign Slime was a fantastic track. Least favorite is probably still it's not Industry Baby. I think the instrumentation's great on that. It would probably be like a Don't Want It or something, or Avoid, the ones where it slowed down for a bit too much. Life After Salem, maybe even. It's one of those.
Oh, Life After Salem's so good.
It would have been fine after those bonus tracks, to be honest. It's like if there was no other closer, if they were the closers, they would be a lot better.
We haven't even really talked about I Am Dreaming or Am I Dreaming. Fuck, like that song's great too. Like Miley does give a good performance, like you said, and that is the most interesting thing
Yeah.
is their duet together is so good and a
Yeah.
really great way to end the album.
I'm a little bit country. I'm a little bit also country.
But like, I'm just waiting for the next EP or the next album where he does a song with Noah Cyrus.
Hmm.
And
Anyway,
now I present an image to Trix that will make her boil with blood. Or blood boil, sorry.
Oh boy.
It's a fake. It's fake, don't worry.
I can tell, and even then, I wouldn't really care too much.
It's a joke of Fantano bots giving electric versus dope for free.
Mm-hmm. At
even
least
I
a
like him
strong
on that.
free.
Also,
So-
Holiday was fine. I'll just say that the Holiday single was fine.
Yeah, the holiday single came.
Yeah.
It was a tie over between the EP and the album, so whatever.
Yeah.
I'm happy to do my rankings first because it's already spoiled. Number 3,
Mhm.
Shannon and the Clams. Number 2, which these two would just swap around on any day. Number 2, I'll put as Black Midi for now. Bernie kind of barely, because I still think it's a lot more impressive, but I'm just into Montero a bit more, I guess. So Montero gets the number
Mhm.
1.
Number 3, Black Midi. Number 2, Shannon and the Clams. Number 1, Lil Nas X is Montero.
I'm gonna agree with Domino there. Shannon and the Clams and Black Midi, I could flip flop on any day, but right now Shannon and the Clams is a bit higher.
Which then leads us to next week.
So I'm
Oh boy.
I'm happy to go first and to bring up the kind of conclusion to this kind of weeks I've had of planning. And look, I guess Tropical Fuckstorm was required to kind of listen to Black Midi because we kind of went into that art rock, and then Black Midi just kind of required because we needed to do it. But now we go into what I consider to be the more interesting or most interesting hip hop album of the year. I don't want to give away too much context like I usually do in here, outside of the samples. So I'm going to be leaving Dominic and Trix to do their own research on Injury Reserve. But we are going to be doing By the Time I Get to Phoenix by Injury Reserve, and it should be a good time.
I have heard of Injury Reserve from Fantano and was considering covering them at some point and discovering them myself. So this will be interesting.
All right.
Not anytime soon, but probably in 2022 was my plan. But to do it now, great. Love it.
All right. Coincidentally, lines up really well with today with how absolutely on fucking Jupiter I am right now. I'm going to be doing quite possibly one of the most legendary stoner doom metal tracks. Well, this is actually a subgenre called Funeral Doom, which I'll cover more when we get to the episode. But I'm going to be doing Bell Witch's Mirror Reaper. Get ready for one song that's an hour and 20 minutes long with just a bass and drums.
Beautiful.
And then we are covering Paul Williams and etc. doing Phantom of the Paradise, directed by Brian De Palma. A movie that predates Rocky Horror and predates Star Wars. Oh, does it predate Rocky Horror? It might not. I think it does. Yeah. Predates Rocky Horror, predates Star Wars. Phantom of the Paradise. I cannot wait for you two to experience this. You might love it, you might hate it. I don't really know.
Fair enough.
I guess we will have to find out. So I zoned out. What was it called again?
The movie's called Phantom of the Paradise.
Ah, yeah, Phantom of the Paradise. Thank you.
I'm very
Phantom of
excited
the
to do
Opera.
It's kind of a 70s version of Phantom of the Opera meets Faust.
Fun.
Until we cover that, though, I have been Ritalin. You can catch me on our website, ritalin4kids at github.io. I swear I slur a lot less on my website than I do on this podcast. I also have a YouTube channel where I don't speak at all. It's in the description below. I don't have anything else to plug, but...
I've been Trix. You can catch me on Twitter at procrastinaut_. It's like procrastinating astronaut, and then an underscore.
Oh, that's it. Okay.
Yeah. We also have a website, dissonantwaves.space or something.
Yeah, well, Dissonant Waves Space. Dissonant Waves on YouTube, Dissonant Waves on Twitter. I'm Dominic. You can catch me at on Twitter at DACICHOCKI. That's initial, last name, whatever. Those are Windmill Studios written there, you know.
It's an absolute rip to Dominic at the moment there, don't you think?
He started Facebook calling me.
That's a little bit of technical difficulties, but you can catch Dominic at tiltingwindmillstudios.com.au. And you can also catch him on his Twitter, which is Dominic has put on his webcam, and we can see his forehead and beautiful, beautiful beard you got in there, dude, on twitter.com.nz.
Where did I cut out?
You just completely cut out. Idiot.
You started
Where
calling
I didn't
me.
speak at all.
I think we'll call it there unless you want to continue plugging your stuff, Dominic.
At the ACICHOCKI on Twitter, tiltingwindmillstudios.com. You know how that is. Okay. I don't even know how I got to this part of the fucking Discord. Hello. Next week again we're doing Bell Witch's Mirror Reaper, Injury Reserve, By the Time I Get to Phoenix, and Paul Williams and company doing Phantom of the Paradise. Great movie. Excited to do that. That'll do it for us here, Dissonant Waves. Just getting over the fact that I'm just looking at myself in the camera now. Okay.
Bye.
Have a good time, everybody, I guess. We'll see if this video survives in the transition to me editing it.